Hello, in this video I'm going to talk about my finds for the first 10 days of May. And I'm going to start with 3 books which follow on from books I showed you in my previous book haul. I went back to that 3 for £1 charity shop and I picked up 3 more of the L.J. Smith Vampire Diaries series. I don't think I would have bothered buying these, but as I already had a few from the previous video, this filled in a couple of gaps, and I did a little bit of research after the last video. Apparently there were 13 books in the Vampire Diaries series, and I now have numbers 7 to 13. 7 to 12 were first, in generally excellent condition. Number 13 is a second print. So I now have 7 individual volumes, plus I have books 1 and 2 in a single volume. So I've got most of the series now. I'm not certain they're worth collecting, but basically from that shop, if you remember on the last video, I bought 1 book which I was happy to pay £1 for. So the next 5 cost me £1, and these 3 cost me another £1. So basically I've got the 8 books in that series for £2. So not something I'd normally collect, but a good price. I did read that the author died a couple of months ago, and I think she had had some ill health. And I did read that the last 3 were written by a different author, Aubrey Clark. So maybe because of health or whatever, she didn't actually write the last 3 in the series herself. That's all I'll say about that. I'll now go back to another group of books that I bought in the last video. And if you don't remember, they were the 4 NEL Master SF books, which were in really nice condition. And again, after I came back, I just thought out of interest I'd see what was on eBay and was there anything else. And there was one seller. He was trying to sell 6, but I was only interested in 5, so I sent him an email and we agreed on a price for the 5, and I got 5 more Master SF books. So I will show you those. So this one is Lieutenant Gulliver Jones, His Vacation, by Edwin Lester Arnold. I know nothing about this book and I know nothing about the author. So, but again, it's in lovely condition. Also got this one, The Strange Invaders by Alan Llewellyn. Again, really nice condition. The next one, The Mind of Mr. Soames by Charles Eric Maine. Again, lovely condition. So these 5 books, including postage, came to £19 and a few pence. So I thought that was a reasonable buy, given that the condition is so nice. The last one I got from that seller, Other Worlds by Cyrano de Bergerac. So as you can see, the condition is lovely. I also got in touch with a friend who is also a book dealer, and he had another one that I quite wanted. Now I've got about 3 or 4 editions of this title, but I hadn't got this edition, Martian Time Slip by Philip K. Dick. Probably the most notable book in the series. And again, this is very nice condition. So that meant in the last 2 hauls I've picked up 10 Master SF books out of the 15. And I also went through my list to see what else I might have. So one I knew I had, and I was fairly certain it was Master SF, was this one. Now the condition isn't as good. A few marks on the spine, as you can see, been some sun fading, but generally nice condition. So if I saw a better copy, I'd probably upgrade, but it's quite reasonable. And one other that I found in my collection, Memoirs of a Spacewoman by Naomi Mitchison. Now this is not in very good condition. It's got some marks. It's got a saw cut at the bottom to show it was remaindered. It's got spine creases. So not the greatest condition. But it's another one in the series. Now the dealer I bought the Philip K. Dick from does have the 3 I am now missing, but they're probably in this sort of condition, possibly worse. So I do wonder whether I should offer to buy off him. I don't know what you think. I always prefer to wait for nice copies to turn up, but will I ever see the remaining 3? And for those of you who don't know what they are, I'll try and... Sorry, this will take a second. I will try and tell you the titles. One of them was a Transatlantic Tunnel Hurrah by Harry Harrison. Now I know I've got a copy of that, but whether it's an L edition, but whether it's the Master SF edition, I have my doubts. And it's in probably the most inaccessible shelf in my entire book room. For those who've seen my videos, they know that means it could be rather difficult to get to. So I might possibly have that one, but I know I've got it as a Nell copy, but not in great condition. So I am on the lookout for a replacement for that. Another one I'm missing is Brainwave by Powell Anderson. Now that one I know I haven't got. So that's one I've got to try and find. And the last one I'm missing is The Paradox Men by Charles L. Harness. So I'm missing 3, but to pick up 10 plus the 2 I already had in just 2 or 3 weeks, I thought was rather good. And it has been a while since I've bought anything off of eBay, so I'm quite pleased with that buy. And those 5 that I bought, I think did I mention? They were less than £4 each for what were very nice condition. Before I carry on with the book haul, I'll mention an unhaul. As a result of my bookroom videos, one of my subscribers contacted me and expressed an interest in some of my books. And I sold them. And basically, there were a couple of Door first printings in beautiful condition. There were a couple of Timescapes. In fact, there were 1, 2, 3, I think it was 4, 5 Timescapes he bought. And the dearest one he bought was one that I knew was uncommon, but when I looked on Bookfinder, I was a bit shocked. So I'll show you my copy. I didn't take a picture of the ones I sent him. And it's this one, which is the sequel to The Silver Metal Lover by Tanith Lee. So this one's called Metallic Love. And this is virtually as new. And when I looked, the prices asked seem a bit ridiculous. For a new copy, the the cheapest I found anywhere was about £100, and I looked at the last 3 months for sales on eBay, and there were, I think, 2 or 3 that had been sold, but a couple of those were ex-library and went for well over £20. So this does seem to be a rare book. So I sold my copy, which was almost in as good condition as this, for £40. Was that a fair price? Should I have charged more? Should I have charged less? I don't know. So I thought I'd briefly mention my unhaul, which enabled me to get rid of 10 books. So I was pleased with that, and it's first time for ages that I've sold any books other than when I went to Arundel and sold some slightly poorer books off very cheap. I'll now carry on with my book haul. The next one I'm going to show you, again one I'm sort of reluctant to buy, but the Sunday Times books, The Tales of the Weird, I spotted this one in a charity shop. It was £1. I've got about 6 or 7 of these, and they're not common. They don't turn up very often. So this one is called The Platform Edge, Uncanny Tales of the Railways. It's edited by Mike Ashley. So I'm gradually building these up. I've never been out of my way to look for them, but maybe if I build up a significant collection, then I might start trying to collect the set. The next book I'm going to show you is this one. Now this is book 3 of a trilogy, but the condition is absolutely beautiful, as new. I've never heard of the author, Dominic Gully, and I don't think I've ever seen any from this series before. Now I think I paid £2.50 for this because it looked interesting, and I thought, am I going to see these again? So I'm hoping I spot books 1 and 2 at some time. The next book I'm going to show you is another series where I pick them up when I see them, but I don't go out of my way and I don't pay over the odds. And it's this one, a book from the Dennis Wheatley Library of the Occult. Condition not perfect, but pretty good. The worst thing is a sort of white mark across the top. It feels a bit like it's not a crease, it's as though a line of the cover has been pulled off, perhaps by a label or something, or a printing error. But otherwise it's in quite nice condition, not particularly tan. And I think that means I've got about 1/3 of the Library of the Occult now. In the shop there were 4. 2 I had, this one I didn't, and was reasonably priced at £2.50, and the last one was priced at £30 and had a crease, and so I wasn't very impressed and didn't bother with that. Just 2 more books to show you. The next one I'm going to show you is this, The Knife of Never Letting Go, the first of the Chaos Walking trilogy. Now this doesn't turn up very often. It was considered quite collectible, and I do have a signed copy. But the reason I bought this, and it was £3, is because it had probably the best acetate, or whatever this type of dust jacket is called, and unlike most, almost no marks or rubbings on it. And these jackets are very prone to being rubbed. And I'll just show you. As you can see, it is printed on, so it's not totally transparent. And the book itself is absolutely fine. So I paid £3 for that. Maybe at some point I'll get a chance to get this signed. But if not, I will definitely swap the acetate cover for one on one of my signed books. And the final book I'm going to show you is another one that I ordered from eBay. Now this was an auction, so I wasn't overly optimistic. but my opening bid, I mean, I did put in a higher bid, but I got it at the opening bid. And so this book, which is in nice but not absolutely perfect condition, there's a little dent on the front cover and there's a little brown spot inside. But the reason I bid on this, and I haven't chased it before, is because it's signed, I think it's to Mary, by Anne McCaffrey. So I thought that would be a nice book to pair with my Peoples of Pern, which is a Donning hardback. This is a paperback. I believe there was a book club in America of this, but in terms of the paperback, I think it would be difficult to find a much better copy. And with including postage, this came to, I think, about £7.19. So that's my final book, and that is it for this book haul. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you, that's all.